Hiya, so going to make a quick little video here. This is addressing the Kell Brook card. Now, most notably on the card, there is apparently a comeback for none other than heavyweight Dave Allen. Now, Dave Allen is a journeyman slash gatekeeper heavyweight, I think it's fair to say at this point. A lot of people might not like that tag, but he's got 5 losses and 17 wins. It's yeah, with 2 draws as well. So he probably fits in borderline a journeyman at this point. Now, he's apparently making his comeback after that disastrous performance against David Price back in July on the White Rivas card, wasn't it? Yeah. Now, Dave Allen is a very strange one. Unfortunately, he's a very sort of volatile character. He hits the highest of highs and the lowest of lows. Personally, I wouldn't like to see Dave Allen in a boxing ring again. For me, there are already clear signs of slippage in terms of his faculties. A lot of people make this excuse for Dave Allen where they say that it's because he's got this accent, this strong accent, and because of his strong accent and because he cut his tongue once in the fight against Ortiz, that is why he's slurring. I'll be honest with you, I think that's a load of bollocks, because if you listen to it after he had his tongue sorted out, he wasn't slurring, and then if you follow on a little bit longer, he was slurring again. So, for me, there is a definite worry about Dave Allen. I think in most people's eyes, he has taken some form of damage. I think most noticeably, for looking for a fight that would have put miles on the clock quickly, I don't even think it would have been like the Ortiz fight. The Ortiz fight was bad, don't get me wrong. The Ortiz fight, he got beaten up there, and he was a bit of a punching bag, as he was a bit in the White fight. But the fight that really, to this day, makes me feel a little bit sick is that Tony Yoka fight. I can't remember what round it was. It might have been about 8 or 9, where Yoka is letting off these combinations, and you are literally watching Allen's head go back and forth and back and forth and back and forth, and he was in awful shape for that fight. It is not nice to see. It was not nice to see. And after that performance, a few people picked up that he didn't seem the same. He didn't seem right in the way that he was talking, in my opinion. He actually, I'm not saying he was ever, Sugar Ray to begin with, but as soon as he got in the ring after it, he, to me, didn't quite look the same. I know he had the Nick Webb performance, which I don't mean to be disrespectful, but I do think it flattered him. We do forget he was getting beaten up before he landed that one punch. Now, obviously, that was a good win, and that really projected him back, but for me, that just hid a lot of issues in Dave Allen's arsenal. None other than the fact that I personally think that Tony Yoka took something from Dave Allen. That fight was horrible to watch. That you watched someone get, in my opinion, and I don't mean to sound really horrendous when I say this, you watch that Tony Yoka performance and you feel like you're watching a man get years taken off his life. It was as simple as that. Then he obviously had the Nick Webb fight where, again, he was taking a load of punishment, shipping far too much punishment, and then landed that one overhand right, which is quite a good punch from Allen. Then he blew out Sammy Nebo, and then he went and had that war with Bracamonte. Again, a performance that's going to damage you further. Then he shipped a fair bit of punishment before stopping Lucas Brown with a body shot. I think that was the O2, wasn't it? Yeah. Then, obviously, we go on to the David Price performance, where a lot of people expected Dave Allen to win, and David Price just showed that there are levels to this, and picked him apart and made him quit. Now we're hearing he's making a comeback. Now, in the wake of the David Price loss, he took himself away from social media after a suicide threat. There's no other way than putting it. He put out a suicide threat on his social medias. If you haven't seen that, I'm not going to talk too much about it. It was very unpleasant to see. And now he's apparently making a comeback. Look, I, as a human being, as someone with humility and empathy, I am petrified of this. He seems quite happy training that that kid he's got, Danny Murrell. And he's also picked up, I think he's come across some guys who weren't like doing too well in life, and he sort of introduced them to boxing as well. So he seems to have this little almost like training academy, and he seems to get a lot of joy from that. He said on social media as well that he gets more joy from that than he's ever got from fighting. I honest to God hope that Dave Allen, I really hope this comeback doesn't happen and he just sticks to training fighters, because he actually is. I know a lot of people like to say behind his, because he's from Doncaster, and behind it, all of that, he's actually quite an articulate man. A lot of people might laugh at that, but he's actually quite an articulate and intelligent man, especially when it comes to boxing. He has a very good level-headed view on boxing. Now, the problem is that he allowed his head to get gassed up. I remember him putting out that interview before the David Price fight, before he'd even stepped in the ring with Price, saying he's going to blow out Povetkin. And the problem is, right, and he has these little fucking ridiculous fanboys that follow him around on Twitter, and they gas him up and tell him that anything's possible. I got in an argument with one about 2 or 3 months ago because they told me, and I swear to God, on my life, I'll find the screenshot if I can still find it. I doubt I've got it. But on my bloody life, someone was arguing with me, saying that Dave Allen would be able to take Wilder's power and would be able to stop Wilder, that he would give it like a 60-40 in Allen's favour. People, this is the issue, because he hears that, and it allows it to he gasses his head up. He thought he was going to blow out Price and then blow out Povetkin, because you lot had told him he was that good, when he was never that good. And then, when he got crushed, it crushed him as well. And it looked ostensibly like it almost led to suicide. And the people that have the blood on their hands are the people that keep telling him to get back in the ring and have these wars. The ones that are taking years off of his life doing it at the best of times, but then furthermore telling him he can jump far higher than he can jump and getting himself hurt. Honestly, I'm seriously worried about this comeback. I really, if it is a comeback, please, can he not chase these big money fights? Do not look for Dubois. For fuck's sake, do not fight Dubois. Not even Gorman, not even Joyce. All three of them would hurt Dave Allen. And that's not what anyone wants to see. I don't want to see that. He's a nice guy. If he's going to, go back, I know David Howe doesn't fight, but people like David Howe, the Dorian Darchers of the world, people like that, domestic level, stick to domestic level, that's fine. We know you can hack it at domestic level. But please, as soon as he steps up to that, much past British, fringe European, no. Someone needs to tell him that cannot happen, that can't happen, that should not happen, categorically cannot happen. Because every time he does, he doesn't just get beaten up, because he's got no defence. He had about, I think, 12 amateur fights, and he's had, 25 pro fights, something like that? I don't know, not even that, I think. Honestly, I can't remember how many pro fights he's had. I think he's had less than 25 pro. So in total, this man has had about 40 fights, if that. Professional and amateur. So he's still got... he comes in sparring partner mode. He hasn't got the best defence. And against anyone who is European level, they will hurt him. And they have done. We're forgetting that he lost a split decision to Leroy Thomas. Leroy Thomas is Commonwealth level. That is below British. So, look, I'm worried about this comeback. Because for me, and I think a lot of other people with their head screwed on, think this could well end in tears. So, look, I've gone on a bit of a ramble today. I'm going to try and cut it short. Let me know what you think. I do worry that there are probably a few Dave Allen fans out there that may or may not be as misguided as the ones on Twitter that may come and see this and not be too pleased at me. But look, I'm not saying this because I dislike Dave Allen the man. Completely the opposite. I really, really like Dave Allen. He comes across as a lovely, lovely fella. I just don't want to see how this ends if we carry on the same trajectory. Particularly not with those fucking people on Twitter who tell him they tell him he can walk on bloody water. And at first he just sort of gets humble about it, but then he'll get a win behind him against someone that's not really of any note. And then they'll be gassing him up, and he'll believe it. And then things happen like the Yoka performance and like the fucking Price performance. And no, just no. We don't want to see any more of that. So let me know what you think, and take care.